안녕하세요, 여러분. Please let me know if you could hear me, guys. 여러분 제 말 들리시나요? 안녕하세요, 여러분. 안녕하세요. 러시애님, 안녕하세요. 타타요님, 탈리아님, 안녕하세요. 태민님, 안녕하세요. I see a lot of familiar usernames. As always. 네, thank you for joining, guys. 잘 들려요? 오케이. 잘 들리면 좋아요. 오케이, hello. 한스님, 반갑습니다. 여러분, 수업에 와주셔서 고맙습니다. Thank you for joining this class. Today we will be learning 10 sentence endings. We're not only going to learn how exactly is used, what kind of meaning it adds to the sentence, but we're also going to watch some of the clips from actual Korean dramas to check how it's used in real life. 그러면 한번 해보겠습니다. 좋아요. 샤니스님 안녕하세요. I think long time no see, right? I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well too. 감사합니다. Thank you for stopping by. 안녕하세요, 여러분. 그러면 I will start the class now. 지금 수업을 시작해 볼게요. 일단은 처음으로 배울 sentence ending. The first sentence ending that we're going to learn is 네요. 네요. I'm pretty sure a lot of you are already familiar with the sentence ending, but I brought this too because I have to compare this sentence ending with others, how exactly it's different from other confusing sentence ending, other sentences that you'll likely get it mixed up with 네요. So, 네요's keywords, let's look at the keywords first, guys. 네요's keywords는요, 일단은 right now예요. It has to be your reaction to something that's happening right now or your immediate reaction to what somebody said. So the keyword is right now and immediate. 그리고 그러면 let's look at the various usages of 네요. 네요 한번 볼게요. 네요. 일단은 네요 can be used for a sentence that contains what you realized just now. What you realized just now. 예를 들어서, you didn't know it was raining a while ago, but now you see. Now you see it's raining. Oh, okay, I'm realizing, it's raining now. You can say, 비가 오네, 비가 오네, 비가 오네. 그리고 요거는 the grammar rule. Sorry, I forgot to tell you the grammar rule, guys. The grammar rule is you put the stem of the verb or adjective or even 이다, and then add 네요. It has to be stem. 그래서 마시멜로우님이 선생님이 귀여우네요라고 했는데 사실 귀엽네요가 맞아요. 귀엽네요. You have to be using the stem of the adjective. 그래서 it could be used for what you realized just now. It could be facts. It could be what's happening. 그리고 두 번째로는 it can also be your immediate reaction. Reaction to what's happening. What's happening, like something that you see or hear. You could be seeing something right now. You could be hearing something right now. 그래서 그거에 대한 immediate reaction이고요. 그리고 or it could be immediate reaction to what somebody said or to what somebody just said. It has to be what he just said. Not what he said 10 minutes ago, not what he said yesterday, not what he said 10 years ago. It has to be what someone just said because keyword is right now. Right now. 그렇기 때문에, and because it's used as immediate reaction, it's often used when you're surprised by something because surprise is an immediate reaction to something, right? But like we learn now, 네요 is not limited to only like surprising situations. It can be used for various things that you notice right now. 그리고 it's also often used when you are agreeing with what someone said because agreeing is also an immediate reaction, right? So if somebody said like, 한국어, let's say 한국어 재밌어. 한국어 재밌어. Or maybe something more relatable. 한국어 어려운 것 같아. 한국어 어려운 것 같아. Your friend said this, let's say. 그러면은 나는 you think about it, and then you go, yes, 맞네, 맞아. Yes, that's true. Or 맞네, I agree with you. That's my immediate reaction. 맞아요. 그리고 it can also be used for compliments too. So you hear someone speaking English and you think that person speaks perfect English or good English. You could say, 영어 잘하시네요. You can do the same for someone who speaks good Korean, perfect Korean. You can say, 한국어 잘하시네요. 한국어 잘하시네요. 그렇게 할 수가 있습니다. 그리고 그래서 그게 네요입니다. 네요. That's how you could use 네요. 그리고 we're moving on to 다 ending, guys. 다 ending. So it's 다 ending is most famously known as written form, right? written form으로 알고 있을 거예요. 일단은 grammar 먼저 봅시다. grammar. 다 ending. 다 ending은 일단은 if you're speaking about if your sentence is in present tense using 다, you could say 잠깐만요. 장민님 has a great example sentence for 네요. 갑자기 바람이 많이 부네요. 맞아요. You're seeing now that it's very windy. It's suddenly windy. 그럴 때 you notice that now. 그래서 네요 쓰시면 됩니다. 좋습니다. 그 다음에 쇼유님이 다가 dictionary form이라고 했는데 no. This form is different from dictionary form because this one is actually a conjugated form. It has conjugation rules, which is what we're looking at now. So here is just to make sure it's not a dictionary form. It's different from dictionary form. Dictionary form is just plain 다 without any conjugations. So you cannot use the form in sentences. 그래서 일단은 grammar 보시면 present sentence 만들 때는 you can put we have to do verb first because the rules are different for verb and adjective, which I think you all agree that is one of the most annoying parts of Korean grammar. As a teacher and also as a student, I'm sure. 아무튼 일단 verb 먼저 볼게요. verb present tense에서는 verb는 verb 니은 받침 or는 다예요. If the stem ends in a vowel, then you add 니은. If the stem ends in a consonant, then you add 니은, right? 그리고 for past tense, past tense는요. 잠깐만요. 코리무님. 잠깐만요. Sorry, 코리무님. 잠깐, I will have to ban you for a moment because it's not related to class. Sorry. ban 할게요. 아무튼 이제 past는 verb at 썼다 라고 하시면 되고요. 그리고 future는 verb 을 거다 이렇게 쓰시면 돼요. 그리고 as for adjective, it's a lot easier because for present tense, you don't have to add any suffix. So for present tense, it would be the same as the adjective's dictionary form because you don't add any suffix and then you just put 다 after the stem, which makes it the same form of the dictionary form, right? 그리고 지일님 좋는다 아니고 좋다예요. 좋다. 왜냐하면 좋다 is an adjective, so it follows this rule. So 좋다's 다 form is 좋다. It's the same, right? 그리고 and as for past tense, I'm sure you can guess. Oops, I want to match the color. Not that it matters, but yeah. So for past, you can just conjugate it in past tense and put 다. For future tense, you can conjugate it in future tense and put 다, 거다. So it's either 거다 or 을 것이다. 이렇게 만들면 돼요. So 다 is most famously known as a written form. written form, meaning you can use this form of sentence ending in your diary, in a newspaper article. And what you have to note is that this form is not classified as 존댓말. It's rather classified as 반말. So you always has to match all the other elements in a sentence to 반말. So for example, you cannot use 저 in a sentence that ends in 다. Even if it's writing, you have to match it with 나, because written form 다 is considered 반말. 다 is always 반말, although it's used in writings. 그리고, so it's written form, and it can also be used for speaking as well. spoken form도 있어요. 그리고 둘 다, in both cases, they are 반말. 반말이기 때문에 you will most likely be using this ending when you are with your close friends. But it's not like you can't, like you can never use it when there are older people around you. If you mean it like, you say to yourself, you're saying this to yourself. 일단은, sorry, I have to explain its usage first, right? 일단 grammar는 이렇게 되고, 잠깐만요. So its usage, let's move on to its usage. 자꾸 컬러에 욕심이 있네요, 제가. 자꾸 모르겠어요. 컬러를 맞추고 싶어지네요. 아무튼 usage를 보면은 일단은 the first usage is 네랑 방금 네 배웠잖아요. We just learned 네 ending, right? 네. 그거랑 you can consider it interchangeably used when it's your immediate reaction. 네. Interchangeably used. Immediate reaction to something. Reaction to something. So let's say you meet your friend and you see her new haircut and you instantly go, oh, 예쁘다. Oh, wow, it looks good on you. It looks pretty. Or you could also say 예쁘네. Either sentence ending you use, they're both correct. Oh, 예쁘다. 예쁘네. 그리고 could you add you after that? No. 안 돼요. 다는 항상 반말이에요. 네, 브랜님, 항상 반말입니다. 그래서 다요, 안 돼요. Unless you're trying to, I don't know, break the grammar rule and sound cute. In that case, some people might say it, but that's not grammatically acceptable. 네, nor is that common. 그래서 아무튼 예쁘다, 예쁘네 이렇게 할 수 있어요. 그리고 let's say you're studying Korean and you feel that, it's hard. You can say, 어렵다. Or 어렵네. 둘 다 맞고. And if you hear someone speaking Korean and that person speaks perfect Korean, then you can go, 한국어 잘 한다, right? 잘 하다 is a verb, so it follows 니은 다 grammar rule, right? 한국어 잘한다. 야, 너 한국어 잘한다. 아니면은 한국어 잘하네. 둘 다 됩니다. 한국어 잘하네. 그렇죠. 잘 먹는다. 잘 먹네. 맞아요. 좋아요. Marshmallow님이 so that functions like an exclamation mark. 아니요. 항상 그렇진 않아요. Not necessarily. Ne's usage is not limited to what you find surprising. It could be anything that you notice right now. 그렇기 때문에 I cannot definitively say 네 functions like an exclamation mark, although it does sometimes. 그리고 그렇게 쓰면 돼요. 잘한다, 잘하네. 그렇게 쓰면 되고, 그리고 다 has another usage, which is used in place of future tense. 네. So you can replace verb or adjective, actually 잠깐만. adjective도 되나? 아니다. adjective 안 되고요. verb만 돼요. verb. When it's verb. Sorry, I forgot to add that. When it's verb. In place of future tense, when it's verb. So, you can replace verb을 거야 or verb을 게 with 다. 다로도 바꿔 쓸 수 있어요. 예를 들어서 I'm leaving, like I'm gonna leave. You can say 갈 거야, or 갈게. You can say 갈게, right? You can use 을게 ending because you're letting somebody know that you're leaving. But you can also say, 야, 나 간다. 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 이렇게 해도 돼요. 간다. 그리고 tomorrow, it's gonna rain tomorrow. So make sure you buy umbrella in advance. You can say, 내일 비 올 거야. 내일 비 올 거야. 내일 비 올 거야. 꼭 우산 사놔. 아니면 뭐 미리 사놔. 미리 우산 사놔. In advance 사놔. 여기서 올 거야를 비 온다. 온다로 바꾸면 돼요. 내일 비 온다. 꼭 우산 사놔. 이런 식으로. 그리고 온다? 잠깐만요. 뭐야? 한국어 공부 열심히 할게. 네, 맞아요. 한국어 공부 열심히 할게. 이거를 you can change it to 한국어 공부 열심히 한다. 열심히 한다. 이렇게 바꿔도 돼요. 이렇게 바꿔도 돼요. 그렇죠. 길니 온다가 맞아요. 온다. 그렇죠. 온다. 그리고 갈게요가 더 공손해요. 게 엔딩이 더 공손하다고요. It could sound polite. 그쵸. You could say that. But 다 is 반말 anyways. So 다 isn't really focused on being polite. 다 is an ending that you can only use with someone that's close to you. So politeness level은 그렇게 중요하진 않아요. 여기서는. 근데 of course 을개가 더 polite 하긴 하죠. 아무튼 그렇게. 그래서 다 has two usages. Either it's 네, interchangeably used with 네, your immediate reaction, or future tense. 색이 너무 칙칙해. Future tense. No, that's better. 좋아요. 그 다음에 넘어가겠습니다. 그럼 which color did I use? Number 3, green color. 자, 그 다음 거는 이제 더라고요예요. 더라고요. Adjective, verb, or 이다. 더라. So there are actually three forms. either 더라, which is 반말, 이건 반말이고, 그리고 adjective, verb, 이 더라고, which is also 반말. And these two are the same thing. 똑같아요. It's your own choice whether to include 고 or not, but it doesn't make any difference in meaning. So same이라고 써놓을게요. 그리고 the 존댓말 form은요. The 존댓말 form은 adjective, verb, 이 더라고요. When you're using 존댓말, you have to make sure to use 고 and then 요. It's not 더라요. It's not 더라요. It's 더라고요. And this one is 존댓말입니다. 이거는. 존댓말. 그래서 일단은 더라고의 키워드를 볼게요. 더라고의 키워드는 바로 past예요. So it's kind of opposite from 네요. In that 네 is for what you notice right now, right? Or what you feel right now. And 더라 is focused on the past. It can never be used for something that's happening right now. 그래서 이거는 it is used to convey something you like learned, realized, like came to know, thought or felt in the past. So it indicates that, this experience of knowledge is from the past, and it may or may not still be the case now, depending on the context. We don't know that yet if there's no context, but what's important is that it's conveying something that you learned or you thought or felt in the past. 그래서 예를 들어서 let's say you went on a picnic yesterday. 어제 소풍을 갔어요. And yesterday you noticed the weather is so nice. And today, you went back home, and today you're sharing your experience of your picnic to your friends. Then you can say something like, 어제 소풍을 갔어. 어제 소풍 갔어. 어제 소풍 갔는데 or you're providing background 갔는데 날씨가 와 막 진짜 not 네, it's not 네 because you're talking about your past experience. 진짜 좋더라고. 진짜 좋더라고. The weather was so nice. 더라고. So it would be easier to remember if you notice 더 in it. This 더 is the same 더 from 던. 여러분 던 ending 알죠? 이것도 past tense modifier잖아요. So if a grammar expression contains 더 in it, 99% of the time, it's past tense. 네. 그래서 더로 암기해 주시면 되겠습니다. 더라고요. 아니면 뭐 you took a Korean class for the first time last week, which was in the past, or it doesn't have to be like very like the distant past. It could be 10 minutes ago as well. So let's say you took a Korean class for the first time an hour ago, and then now you're sharing your experience, your past experience. You can say like, 아까, a while ago, 아까 한국어 수업을 들었는데, 어렵더라고. It was difficult. That's what I felt while I was taking the class a while ago, which is the past. 그렇게 하면 되고요. 그리고 우리 이모가 you can say 우리 이모가 죽었더라고. Like you realized that your aunt passed away. That's what you're trying to say, right? 그럴 때는 이제 죽었더라고 하시면 돼요. 죽었더라고. 네. 죽더라고 하면 좀 이상해요. 잠깐만요. 저는 더라고가요. verb 잠깐만요. So just because 더라고 is used for delivering what you felt or experienced in the past, that doesn't mean it cannot be conjugated. It can be used with past tense conjugated verb or adjective. 그래서 verb 일단은 더라고 하더라고. 그쵸. verb 더라고 or adjective 더라고가 기본적인 form이고요. This is the basic form. And you can also conjugate it in past tense. 썼더라고 or adjective 썼더라고. And for past tense, when you can use past tense is 언제 쓸 수 있냐면요. Past tense can be used when you're talking about your past experience, and in that past experience, you realized another past knowledge, another knowledge from past. So let me give you some drawing, guys. So here is today. It is right now. And you're talking about what happened a year ago. And what happened a year ago is that you learned that your aunt passed away 10 years ago. 그러면은 it's a past of a past, right? So in the past, you realize, the past fact of what happened in the past that you're referring to. Does it make sense? In that case, you can use verb 썼더라고 or adjective 썼더라고. 그래서 우리 이모가 죽었더라고. 이것도 우리 이모가 죽었더라고. In the past, I realized that my aunt had passed away in another past, in further past. 그렇기 때문에 죽었더라고가 맞습니다. 그리고 뭐 예를 들어서 뭐 I checked like yesterday or 뭐 1시간 전에 an hour ago 1시간 전에 아들 방에 들어갔는데 I went into my son's room. 아들 방에 들어갔는데 and I realized and I saw that he had already finished the homework. So the action of him finishing the homework is in even more past, right? Than the past you're referring to. So in this case, you can say not 끝내더라고, but 끝냈더라고. Because your son finishing his homework happened in the even more past. than the past you're referring to, which is 1시간 전에. Okay, so that's what 더라고요 is. 근데요, 여러분, 잠깐만요. I forgot to play the drama clip first, based on 네 ending and 다 ending. So I should have played that first before we move on to 더라. But let's watch that clip, and so that you could get the hang of how to use it better in real life. 네, 다 틀어볼게요. 여러분 혹시 그 클립에 소리 들리는지 알려주세요. Let me know if you guys can hear the sound from the clip. 틀어볼게요. 잘 나와야 되는데. 잠깐만요. 일단 이거 삭제하고 이거 숨기고 and then 탭시다. 이거 아니야. 미안해요. 잘못 들었다. QuickTime Player. Okay. There you go. 일단 이건데요. 한번 들어볼게요.
선물로 줬어. 근데 한국말 참 잘하시네요.
들려요? 사실 조금 작아요. 소리가 좀 작죠? 소리가 좀 작지 않아요? 여러분 혹시 can you see the clip? And 들려요? 근데 이 클립이 I cannot share the full screen because that's obviously violation of copyright. So that's why it's chopped in vertical shape. 그렇기 때문에 I cannot share the full screen. 일단은 들려요? 들리는구나. 오케이. 일단 볼게요.
한국 사람이니까.
여기서도 보시면
선물로 줬어.
This woman is speaking Korean. And this woman responded, 한국말 참 잘하시네요. 한국말, Korean, 참, really, 잘하다, to speak well, 시다, honorific, and then she used 내유 ending because it's her immediate reaction to the girl's Korean, fluent Korean. Oh, yes, this is from Strong Girl 남순. 힘센 여자 강남순. 이거 좀 약간 유치하긴 한데 재밌어요. It does have the childish element in, how the story unfolds, but it's really fun. 진짜 재밌어요. 저도 사실 수업 준비하면서 while preparing for this class, I really enjoyed watching it. I made it to episode 4.5, I think. 근데 이거 재밌어요. It's worth watching. Video clip sound is not loud enough. 잠깐만요. 시스템 사실 괜찮아요. 사실 이게 오디오도 제가 소리를 일부러 줄였어요. I reduced the sound intentionally just so that it doesn't, get the copyright strike. 그래서 그냥 요 자막, you guys can just check the subtitle if you can't hear it clearly. But I will repeat it after I play the clip. 그래서 한국말 참 잘하시네요. 이렇게 하시면 되고 그 다음에
한국말 참 잘하시네요. 한국 사람이니까.
And she says 한국 사람이니까 because I'm Korean. Well, she was in the setting. She was raised in Mongolia, but she's Korean, ethnically Korean. Anyways, moving on.
들어간다.
And this person knocks on the door and says 들어간다. In which case 들어간다, 은다 is used in place of future tense. 들어갈게. It's used instead of 들어갈게, which has the same meaning, right? 들어간다, 들어갈게. She's letting her know that she's coming in. He's coming in. And then 없네. And then he looks around and goes, 없네. His immediate reaction to his surrounding. He's not there. The girl's not there. 없네. 이렇게 반응을 하는 거예요. 그 다음에
너 여권 찾았어. 진짜? 다행이다. 그럼 여권 사진 찍을 필요 없겠네.
다시 들어볼게요.
다행이다.
일단 남자 calls 남순 and tells her 너 여권 찾았어. I found your passport. 너
여권 찾았어.
그랬더니 진짜? 오, 다행이다. 다행 means relief. So her reaction to this current situation is, that's a relief. 다행이다. 그리고 다행이다.
그럼 여권 사진 찍을 필요 없겠네.
그럼 여권 사진 찍을 필요 없겠네. 그럼 then 여권 사진. 여권 means passport. Passport. 사진 means photo. 찍다, 사진을 찍다 means to take a photo. And 필요 means need. So need to take the passport photo. 없다, there is no, right? So there's no need for me to take the passport photo, which is why I'm here for it, which is I'm in front of the photo studio to take a picture. But now, 필요 없겠네. Now it seems, she is stating what she realizes now, right? So she uses 네. 그럼 여권사진 찍을 필요 없겠네. Now I see that. Now I realize that I don't have to take a photo for my passport. 그리고 계속 가볼게요.
정말 맨손으로
잠깐만요. 다시 해볼게요.
필요 없겠네. 정말 맨손으로 차를 드시고셨네요.
보실게요. 여기서 사람들이 they're watching the clip of a grandma flipping the car over. And so they're surprised and the police officer goes 정말 맨손으로 he's even stammering. 차를 뒤집으셨네요. 네요. So 네요, he used 네요 because it's what he saw right now, right? I see right now that really you did. 정말 맨손 means bare hand. And 맨발 would mean barefoot, right? So 맨손 means bare hand. So with your bare hand, car를 뒤집다, to flip over. 으셨네요. I see that you flipped your car with your hands. Flip your car. And he used past tense for 뒤집다, because it's what happened in the past. Flipping the car is what happened in the past because they were seeing the clip through a surveillance camera that was recorded yesterday. So that was what happened in the past, but now I'm seeing the recorded video now. So that's why you can end the sentence with 네요. If you want to say you saw the grandma flipping the car over yesterday, not now, you can say 차를 뒤집더라고요, because that's what you saw in the past, right? But here in this case, 차를 뒤집으셨네요. The police officer saw the footage just now. 그렇기 때문에 네요를 씁니다. 네요. 그 다음에 차를 뒤집으셨네요. 배부르다. 좋다. 이렇게 immediate reaction이잖아요. They're having a really fancy meal and their reaction to that is 배부르다. I'm full. You can say 배부르네 as well, right? Because it's your immediate reaction. 그리고 좋다. 좋다. 이렇게 it's so good. 좋다. 그리고 그리고 이 할머니가 고기 먹어, eat meat. 그래야 you have to do that. 아이고. Sorry. I fast forwarded by accident. 그래야 only if you do that 나처럼 힘 세진다 라고 했어요. Only if you do that you will be 힘세다 means strong, as in your strength, your energy is strong. So 힘 세진다 like me. 그러면 여러분 여기 는다. What usage would 는다 be here? 는다. Would it be future tense or would it be your immediate reaction? As in 네. Which one 일까요? Would it be number 1, future tense, or number 2, your immediate reaction? 어떤 걸까요? 힌트는 여기 있어요. 그쵸? future tense예요. 맞아요. 키라님이랑 지우님 future tense예요. 왜냐면 she specifically says, only if you do that, you will become stronger. That makes more sense, right? Than it being an immediate reaction. 그렇기 때문에 여기선 future tense로 쓰였습니다. 그 다음에 힘세진다. 용심하겠습니다. I'll keep that in mind. 그리고 여기도 보시면은 this girl is reading someone else's diary. 보시면 I'm not sure if you guys can see it clearly. I can't really zoom it in, but the sentence endings are in 다, 니은 다. 뭐 실패했다. I failed this time as well. 이번에도 실패했다. 뭐 실패한다. I fail. 뭐 나 혼자 남게 된다. I'm left alone. 이렇게 보시면 in the diary, you can see that Korean people typically use 니은 다 ending. But like we learned, it's also used in spoken form. And in that case, it means either future tense or immediate reaction. 그 다음에
한지 한 달.
그게 끝이에요, 이제. 그러면 네랑 다 클립은 끝났고요. 다시 아이패드로 돌아옵시다. 일단은 So we have just finished watching the clip and we also finished learning about 더라's usage, 더라고 더라고 그런 다음에 이제 다음 sentence ending, next sentence ending으로 가봅시다. next sentence ending은 이제 구나 아니면 군 아니면 군요 이렇게 쓸 수 있는데 as you can see, both 구나 and 군 are 반말. They mean the same thing. Same thing. 똑같은 거예요. 그래서 interchangeably use 하면 되고 그리고 군요는 이제 존댓말이죠. Obviously. 존댓말. 구나요는 안 돼요. 구나요는 안 됩니다. 구나요 안 됩니다. 그리고 이것도 마찬가지로 이제 it could be used with adjective, verb, 이다, 구나 or 군, or you could also conjugate it in past tense. 왔었구나. 구나만 쓸게요. I'll just stick to 구나, just to earn more time. 구나. 그리고 it can also be used for future tense. Future tense랑도 같이 써요. Future tense랑도. One thing I didn't mention, it's obvious, so maybe I don't need to explain this, but for 더라고, since 더라고 is past tense, you cannot use it with future conjugated verb or adjective. 그거는 obvious 하죠. 그런데 이제 4번 같은 경우, 구나 같은 경우는 future랑도 쓸 수 있습니다. 거구나 이렇게. 그리고 이제 future, past, present입니다. 그러면 let's see what it means. Let's learn what it means. 일단은 키워드 볼게요. 키워드. 구나의 키워드는 바로 realizing인데 it is realizing, but it's more focused on realizing facts. Not your emotions, facts. facts만이에요. 그래서 it's used when you realize a new fact. 그래서 that's why a new fact. That's why 구나 or 군 is used many times in response to what somebody said in the form of 그렇구나 or 그렇군요 in 존댓말. 그렇구나. It literally means I realize that 그렇다. It is so. I realize it is so. So it's like saying, I see. 그렇구나. Somebody tells you, somebody tells you some new information to you, and you go, okay, 그렇구나. I see. 그렇군요. 이렇게 쓸 수 있어요. 그리고, just like I told you guys, it's used for realizing facts, so it cannot be used for your own feelings unless you mean it a certain way. Unless, I'll talk about unless later. But the reason why it cannot be used for your own feelings is because you do not realize many times we feel our own feelings. We do not realize our own feelings unless we're trying to separate our feeling self and observing self, right? But it can be used for what other people tells you how they feel. So for example, your friend says, 나 슬퍼. I'm so sad. Then you can say, 슬프구나. stem plus 구나. 슬프구나. 그리고 여러분 미안해요. 제가 이거 잘못 알려드렸다. This is the most annoying part, guys. The one where there are different rules for verb and grammar, verb and adjective. 일단은 verb는 구나예요. Sorry about that. verb는 구나고요. verb는 구나. 그리고 adjective 구나예요. 미안해요. The rules are different for verb and adjective when it comes to 구다 ending. 구다. 그리고 슬프구나 이렇게 쓰면 되고 그리고 예를 들어서 나 어제 your friend says or let's try 존댓말 this time. 저 어제 밤 예를 들어서 밤 10시까지 일했어요. 저 어제 밤 10시까지 일했어요. I worked till 10 p.m. yesterday. 밤까지 일했어요. 그러면 in response to this, you could say, 열심히 사는군요. 열심히 사는군요. You live diligently. 살다. The 사는 is a combination of 살다 plus 는군요. 는군요. 는 because it's verb, right? Because 살다 is verb. And 사는 because real ending is irregular form, right? 그래서 사는군요. 이런 식으로 대답을 할 수가 있어요. So it has to be about facts. 그리고 그쵸? 마시멜로우님이 지구가 평평하지 않군요. 그렇죠. Since it's adjective, you can just use 않군요. 군요 rather than 는군요. 그래서 Earth is not flat. I realized that just now. 지구가 평평하지 않군요. 그렇게. 그리고 so let's go back to this unless part, guys. Unless. So it cannot be used for your own feelings unless unless it's a context where you have never thought of yourself as a happy person, but then one day you realize, hey, actually, I've been happy all along. Then you can say, 나 행복하구나. 나 행복하구나. 아니면 나 행복한 사람이구나. I'm a happy person. 사람이구나. In this case, you can use it to express your emotions, but notice that it cannot be used for like expressing your immediate feelings. 그런 건 아니에요. Okay, 그 다음에 so that's 구나. 그 다음에 구나 and then we're gonna move on to 자나. And in 존댓말, it's 자나요. The grammar부터 하자면 이제 verb랑 adjective랑 이랑 다 똑같아요. It doesn't require any suffix. You can just put the stem and then 자나 or 자나요. 그리고 the keyword of this ending, keyword는 바로 the other person already knows this. 이미 알아. Already knows the content in your sentence, what you're saying in the sentence that you ended with 자나. So knows this. Keywords. Other person knows this. 그래서 it's used when you're trying to like remind someone. Remind somebody of something or to prove a point. That person may or may not know what I'm saying already, but you're just trying to prove a point. Prove a point by reminding it. Reminding something. Actually, the word remind itself implies that the other person already knows this, and you're just making that person have some sort of flashback. 그래서 reminding something. 이요. 아무튼 그래서 예를 들어서 잠깐만요. Sorry. So the second usage, you can say it's used for like obvious facts. Like it could be obvious common sense. It could be obvious common sense. Or, like I said, anything. You think the other person knows already. Oh, so the other person might or might not notice, but you think. I guess that would be another point, another keyword for it. You think the other person knows this. Person already knows. 그래서 예를 들어서 맞아요. 맞아요. 이거. 예를 들어서 친구가 your friend asks you, 물 어디 있어? 물 어디 있어? Where's the water? Where's the water? And then you can say what Kiyoshi typed. 저기에 물 있잖아요. 저기에. Over there. Right? Didn't you see it earlier? 있잖아요. 이렇게. 그리고 또 뭐가 있을까요? 장민님이 이쪽으로 가는 거구나. 구나로 문장을 만들어 주셨는데 잘 만들었어요. So you're realizing now that you have to head this way. 이쪽으로 가는 거구나. 그리고 자나로 또 어떤 문장을 만들 수 있을까요? 자나. 예를 들어서 뭐 아까 말했잖아요. 그렇죠. 아까 말했잖아요. 예를 들어서 너 이름이 뭐야? 너 이름이 뭐야? What's your name? And you could say, 아까 말했잖아요. I told you earlier. Right? 말했잖아요. You remember, right? 말했잖아요. 그리고 맞아요. 뭐 너 때문이잖아도 돼요. 맞아요. 예를 들어서 뭐 let's say your friend asks you, why are you crying? 왜 울어? 왜 울고 있어? 그러면은 여기서 in response to this, you can say, 야, 너 때문이잖아. You know, it's because of you. You'd better know that. 너 때문이잖아. 너 때문이잖아. Keith님 reminds me of duh used. 맞아요. It does have that duh element in it. Duh. Like, it's because of you, duh. You'd better know that. 이런 거예요. 맞아요. Maybe a bit polite. 맞아요. 이거 진짜 맞아요. This is a very precise description. 맞아요. It's politer than duh, but it does have that nuance to it. 맞아요. 그리고 뭐 그쵸? 방금 했잖아. 맞아요. 예를 들어서 in class, there was let's say there was one student who wasn't paying attention to class, so that person asked another classmate, 뭐 이거 언제 배워? 이거 언제 배워? When do we learn this? And then your friend tells you, 방금 했잖아. We just did this. The teacher just covered it, right? You'd better know that. 했잖아. 이런 뜻입니다. 그리고 이제 거든까지 할까요? 일단은 거든 들어가기 전에 클립 하나 보고 올게요. So the next sentence ending is 거든인데 일단은 그거 하기 전에 거든 하기 전에 그 스크립트 클립 드라마 클립 먼저 봅시다. 드라마 클립 슉 여기 있다. 더라. 자꾸 이거 트네. 이거 아니에요. QuickTime Player. 오케이. 여기서 볼게요. 오디오가 잘 안 들릴 수도 있어요. The sound might not be clear, but that's okay. It has subtitles, and I will also repeat after what each line is. 그래서 보겠습니다. 플레이 하겠습니다.
너가 나 고소했잖아.
This is funny. So, 누구세요? So, he's trying to ask you, 누구세요? Who are you? And then the girl goes, 네가 나 고소했잖아. 너가, you, 나, me, 고소했잖아. 고소하다 means to sue. So, you sued me, duh. Like, you'd better know me. 너가 나 고소했잖아. Kind of like that. So, she's making a point by reminding the men what both of you already know, what he already knows. 키미님 목소리. 맞아요. 이게 왜냐면 I reduced the speed by 80%. 네, 그래서 목소리가 좀 남자 같죠? It sounds like man's voice because it's slowed down. 아무튼 그래서 그렇습니다. 그리고 맞아요. 이유미예요. 이유미 such a great actress. 네. 정말 너무너무 귀엽고 연기도 진짜 잘해요. 아무튼 계속 가볼게요. 너가 나 고소했잖아.
이분 착하더라. 요건 좀 잘하지. 아무튼 나 간다. 야, 그리고 나도 너
여기 볼게요. 일단은 네 부인 착하더라. She says this.
네 부인 착하더라.
네 부인 착하더라. She's saying this based on the experience where she met his wife earlier. Or was it a few days ago? Yes, it's probably a few days ago. And she's saying, 네 부인 착하더라. Because she met his wife in the past. And that's what she felt in the past. So, 네 부인 착하더라. 네 부인 착하더라. She seemed nice. She seemed nice. 이런 뜻이고. Sounds like the mask guys in the Squid Game. 그러네요. Makes sense, makes sense. 아무튼 계속 볼게요.
요건 좀 잘하지.
요건 좀 잘하지만 but she swears a lot. And then again she says, 아무튼 나 간다. 여러분, 이 간다는 무슨 간다일까요? What would be the usage of this 간다, guys? 간다. 아무튼 나 간다. Would it be future or immediate reaction? 아무튼 나 간다. Anyways, I'm going. 그렇죠. future입니다. 그쵸. 갈게 or 갈 거야. 그쵸. 그리고
아무튼 나 간다. 야, 그리고 나도 너 고소할 거야. 너도 내 친구 밀었잖아.
나도 너 고소할 거야. I will also sue you. 나도 너 고소할 거야. 너도 내 친구 밀었잖아. So by saying 잖아, it implies that the speaker thinks the other person already knows this. The other person already knows this. 너도 내 친구 밀었잖아. You pushed my friend too, right? So I'm gonna sue you. So this 잖아 here can be translated to right. 밀었잖아. You pushed my friend, right? 그리고
내가 약속했잖아.
고마워. Thank you.
내가
약속했잖아. 그래서 so 잖아, as you can see, can be used when you're trying to prove a point by reminding something. So you're not directly saying. So here the girl says thank you to the guy, and the guy doesn't directly say you don't have to thank me. Instead, he says 내가 약속했잖아. I promised, right? So he's trying to prove a point by reminding something that the speaker already knows. 내가 약속했잖아. I promised you, right? 내가 약속했잖아.
난 약속을 지켰을 뿐이야.
난 약속을 지켰을 뿐이야. It's just that I kept my promise. So, you don't need to thank me.
야, 너 집에 들어갈 때
이거 좀 funny한데.
구강청결제 하나 사라. 입냄새 너무 나더라.
입냄새 너무 나더라. 이렇게 말해요. 입냄새 너무 나더라. So what she's saying exactly? Yeah, to this guy, this grandma is speaking to this guy with the bump on his forehead. 집에 들어갈 때 when you go home, 구강청결제 하나 사라. We're gonna learn la ending later in this lesson, but 구강청결제 means mouthwasher. So buy a mouthwasher when you get home. 입냄새 너무 나더라. 여기서 입 하면 mouth잖아요. 그리고 냄새 나다. 냄새 means smell, and 냄새 나다 is a verb. So for something to smell. So 입냄새 너무 나더라 is saying you have a bad breath. And he used 웃기죠. 이 김혜숙 배우님인데 this actress is 김혜숙, 혜숙 Kim. And she's such a great performer, actor, entertainer. I love her. Anyways, she used 더라 because she was speaking with this man earlier. Not right now, but earlier. And in her recollection, she stinked. His breath stinked. So it's what happened in the past. So you can use 더라. 입냄새 너무 나더라. I saw in the past. I smelled in the past. You smell so terrible. Mouthwasher in Korean vocab sounds complex. 구강청결제. 맞아요. Because that word, 구강청결제, is based on 한자어라서 그래요. 한자어. 아무튼 그 다음 걸로 넘어가겠습니다. 여기 또 더라고인데요.
돈은 이미 다 써버렸더라고요.
돈은 이미 다 써버렸더라고요. 돈은 이미 다 써버렸더라고요. So this is spoken by a police officer. This girl lost her wallet. Now she found it, but the police saw by the time she found the stolen wallet, she saw that 돈은 이미 다 써버렸더라고요. The thief spent all the money inside your wallet. That's what I saw in the past when I found your wallet. 그래서 더라고 썼습니다. 그리고
도착했구나.
이거는 구나인데요. This girl is handing over the cassette tape that the boy ordered in her shop. So she's handing it over, and upon seeing it,
도착했구나.
the guy says, 도착했구나. He realized now that the cassette tape arrived, right? So, 도착했구나. 그리고 뭐 도착했네도 괜찮죠? Because it's about realizing what happens now, right? Something that you realized just now. 그렇기 때문에 도착했네도 괜찮습니다. 도착했네. In this context, right? 도착했네도 괜찮고.
그래서 연락이 안 됐구나.
그래서 연락이 안 됐구나. So this guy hears that the girl lost her phone. Has lost her phone. So he's saying, 그래서 that's why. 그래서 연락이 안 됐구나. 연락 means contact, as in like calling, messaging 그런 연락이고, if you say 연락이 되다, it means you can reach someone. You can reach out to someone by calling or messaging. But if you say 연락이 안 되다, it's like saying for whatever reason you can't reach out to her. Maybe her phone is off. Maybe she's just busy. Either way, for whatever reason, the other person is not answering my call or responding back to my text message, you can say 연락이 안 되다. And say, that's why 연락이 안 됐구나. So I realize now that is why I wasn't able to keep in touch with her. 연락이 안 됐구나. 하나 더 있을걸요?
딸이 아니었습니다.
여기 또,
그렇군요.
So this woman says over the phone, 제 딸이 아니었습니다. She wasn't my daughter. This is not a spoiler, by the way. Someone else being not her daughter is not a spoiler. It's already it's in one of the initial episodes, so it's not a spoiler. Don't worry, guys. 제 딸이 아니었습니다. She was not my daughter.
아니었습니다.
And then upon hearing this, she says,
그렇군요.
그렇군요, which means I see, right? I see. 그리고 여기서 그러네 있잖아요. So 그렇다, the verb 그렇다 combined with 네 is used for agreeing. So 그렇구나. Let me close this and open the iPad. 뭐야? 이거 껐구나. 미안해요. 아이패드가 꺼져 있었어. 됐다. 그래서 이제 그렇구나 하면은 I see란 뜻이고, 어디다 적을까? 그렇구나 하면은 이제 I see라는 뜻이고, 그리고 그렇네 or 그러네 이거는 이제 I agree 이런 뜻이에요. I agree. Whereas 그렇구나 is more like I see. 그게 조금 차이예요. That's the subtle difference between 그렇구나 and 그러네. 그리고 제이미손님, what drama is this? 이거는 so I mixed two dramas. One drama is called Strong Woman 남순, 힘센 여자 남순. 그리고 another one is Into Your Time or a time called you. I think it has multiple English names, into your time, or as far as I know, it's translated to a time called you. A time called you. 그거 2개 섞었습니다. 아무튼 그 다음, let's move on to the next 5 endings. Next 5 endings. The first one, 거든요. 거든 or 거든요. 거든 or 거든요. For grammar aspect. 그러면요, you can use 이 거든요. You can just use the stem. You can just use the stem. You don't have to put any suffix, nor do rules vary depending on adjective or verb. 그래서 adjective 이 거든요이라고 쓰시면 되고요. 키워드는 뭐냐면 키워드는 reason입니다. Reason. It's used for providing reason입니다. 일단은 first one 볼게요. First usage. It's giving a reason to one of the 3 things. To, first of all, what somebody asked. What somebody asked. So that person might have asked, like, oh, why did you do that, right? 그리고 it could also be giving a reason to what you previously said, what you just said. Previously or just said. Or to what you are about to say. What you are about to say right now. Right now. So, 네, it's giving reason to one of the 3 situations. 그리고 예를 들어서 일단은 거든은 먼저 볼게요. 클립을 먼저 볼게요. 클립으로 같이 설명하는 게 편할 것 같거든요. 어떻게 할까? 잠깐만요. 이거를 아이패드 위에다가 띄워놓고 싶어요. I want to put the clip over the iPad. How can I do that? 잠깐만요. 이거를 new screen share overlay. 됐다. 됐다. 이렇게 하면 되네요. It was this simple. 이렇게 하고 근데 조금 작을 수도 있겠다. 근데 the problem with this is that the screen might be a little small. 그래서 this is probably not a good idea. 미안해요. 잠깐만요. Let me fix this, guys. 왜 마우스가 갑자기 여기로 옮겨갔지? 여러분 미안해요. There's some technical issue here. Please bear with me. 잠깐만요. 내 마우스가 the mouse is supposed to be linked to my computer, but for some reason it's linked to my iPad, which is weird because it's not possible. I don't even have the Bluetooth on my iPad. So something's happening with the with this program, guys. 잠깐만요. 미안해요. 이거 어떻게 픽스하지? 미치겠네. 여러분 뭐야 이거. 잠깐만 이거를 제가 아이패드를 잠깐 빼볼게요. 한번. 빼고 됐나? 됐다. 그냥 I'll just forget about the idea of putting the drama clip on the iPad. Sorry. That's not within my ability right now. 잠깐만요. 일단은 그러면 아이패드 다시 연결하고 오케이. 다시 연결하고 일단은 클립을 보겠습니다. 거든 클립 보겠습니다. We're gonna watch clips. Sorry. I keep doing this. QuickTime Player. 여기 있다. 거긴
사람이 너무 많아요. 고기 반찬이 나오거든.
여기서 보시면 거긴 사람이 너무 많아요. So they're talking about a homeless shelter somewhere. So 거긴 사람이 너무 많아요. There 사람이 너무 많아. There are a lot of people. And then next he says
고기 반찬이 나오거든.
고기 반찬이 나오거든. And she's providing reason to what he just said. 고기 반찬이 나오거든. There are a lot of people there because they give out 고기 반찬, meat side dish for free. 고기 반찬이 나오거든. 그 다음에
당했다면 무릎 꿇.
아무튼 그래요. 아무튼 그렇고 아이패드를 다시 킵시다. 그래서 거든이 giving a reason to what you said. 그리고 예를 들어서 I'll make my own example first, guys. That would have been better. I should have done that in the first place. 예를 들어서 너 왜 늦었니? So let's say you're late to class and your teacher asks you, 너 왜 늦었니? Why are you late? And you can say, 실수로 늦잠 잤거든요. So as you can see, for grammar, it can also be conjugated in 잤었거든요. And I forgot to mention, it can also be conjugated in future tense, in which case you can say 거든요. So as you can see, 거 is repeated twice because this 거 is part of the future tense. This 거 is part of the sentence ending. 그래서 그렇게 쓰면 되고 그다음에 실수로 늦잠 잤거든요. She's providing a reason to what the teacher asked. 아니면은 장민님처럼 길이 막혔거든요. 그렇죠. 길이 막히다 literally means for road to be blocked, so it means to be jammed, to have a traffic jam. 그리고 실수로 늦잠 잤거든요. 그렇게 쓸 수 있고 그 다음에 you can also say it in response to what you previously said, giving a reason to what you said previously, like we saw in the clip. That guy said, 거기 사람 너무 많아요. There are many people. And then you give the reason. 고기 반찬 많이 주거든요. They give you lots of 고기 반찬. It's because 거든요. They give you lots of 고기 반찬. 그리고 이제 3번 보시면 what you're about to say right now도 돼요. So basically, you can provide 거든요 first and say the related sentence later. 그렇게 해도 괜찮아요. 그래서 예를 들어서 그렇죠. 이분이 샤로님이 저 여자친구가 한국인이거든요. 그래서 한국어 공부해요. 그렇죠. 저 여자친구가 한국인이거든요. And I say this because she studies Korean. 한국어 공부해요. So you can say this in a context where you guys were talking about studying Korean, and then you can mention, oh, by the way, you see, my 여자친구 is 한국인. My girlfriend is Korean, and she studies Korean. 이런 식으로 해도 돼요. 하거든요. 그리고 예를 들어서 제가 어제 돈을 다 썼거든요. I spent all my money yesterday. 제가 오늘 돈을 다 썼거든요. 그래서 오늘 굶었어요. 이런 식으로 오늘 돈이 없어서 굶었어요. 굶다 means to starve, as in you didn't eat anything. 그래서 you can provide the reason first. 제가 어제 돈을 다 썼거든요. 그래서 and that's the reason for 오늘 굶었어요. I didn't eat anything today. 이런 식으로 쓸 수 있습니다. 그래서 사실 if it's used with third usage, it can be considered giving background information before further elaboration in the next sentence. 그래서 거든요. 그겁니다. 거든요 is all about reason. 그리고 its second usage도 있는데 이건 좀 귀여워요. This one is rather cute. It's not cute in and of itself, but since it's used between close people, it can sound cute sometimes. So, 오케이. 장민님, 좋은 문장이네요. 오늘 내가 한턱 낼게요. 좋아요. 한턱 내다 means I'll treat you. I'll pay for everything. 오늘 제가 한턱 낼게요. I'll pay for everything, guys. 시험에 합격했거든요. The reason being, 시험에 합격했어요. I passed the test. Perfect sentence, 장민님. Very good입니다. Very good. 아주 좋네요. 아주 좋네요. 그리고 일단은 그리고 we're moving on to the second usage of 거든요. Second usage of 거든요, which is strong opposition. Sorry, not opposition, but maybe like strong objecting. You're like strongly objecting. Sorry, what's wrong with my English? Strongly objecting. There you go. Objecting to what someone else has said. It can also be used like this. 그래서 if you're using in this context, it can sound aggressive. So it's best to use it in conversations with close friends, or if you have to use it, if you absolutely must use it, it can be situations where you've heard something truly outrageous and you cannot but have to speak up. Like, 그럴 때 거든요 쓰면 돼요. 뭐 예를 들어서 지수. Let's say your name is 지수. 지수가 지호랑 사귄대요. 지수가 지호랑 사귄대요. If you say somebody랑 사귀다, it means to date. So somebody is spreading false rumor about me and 지호 dating. 지수가 지호랑 사귄대요. And you can say 아니거든요. You're strongly objecting to it because it's not truth. 아니거든요. 그리고 예를 들어서 또 뭐가 있을까요? 여러분 좋은 예문을 주세요. I need help from you guys' creativity. 지수 내 여자친구거든. 뭐 이런 식으로 쓸 수도 있어요. 맞아요. 예를 들어서 let's say 지수 is this very popular girl in school and boys are like, oh, 지수 is my girlfriend, which is a little creepy. It's a little creepy example. Yeah, let's just do it. 지수 내 여자친구야. 건들지 마. Don't touch her. Like don't mess with her, basically. 건들지 마. And then another boy that has crush on 지수 can go like, oh, 지수 내 여자친구거든. She's my girlfriend. Not yours. 지수 제 여자친구거든. 이렇게 할 수 있어요. 여자친구거든. So you're strongly opposing to what somebody said. 그리고 다음에 이제 let's move on to sentence ending number 7. Sentence ending number 7. 일단은 장미님 그쵸? 장미님이 계속해서 이제 좋은 예문 많이 주시고 있는데 장미님 is helping me with a lot of sentences, a lot of great sentences. 그쵸? 예를 들어서 your mom, let's say your mom says 너 오늘 공부 하나도 안 했지? Let's say your mom nags at you. 너 오늘 공부 하나도 안 했지? 하나도 안 했지? This 지 is a question ending. If it's used in question ending, it means right. But if it's used in plain sentence, normal declarative sentence, it has another meaning, which we will get to later in class. But let's say your mom says, 너 오늘 공부 하나도 안 했지? And in response to that, you want to strongly oppose it. Oh, no, that's not true. 아니요. 아까부터 공부하고 있거든요. Since a while ago, 공부하고 있거든요. You're using 듣요 because you're strongly opposed to what your mom said. 있거든요. 이렇게. 그 다음에 let's move on to now it's time for 지 and 조. Number 7. It's 지 or 요. So 일단은 지는 반말입니다. 지 is 반말. 그리고 if you want to use it in 존댓말, it's 지요 or 조. 지요 or 조. So just like I mentioned just now, when 지 or 조 is used as a question ending, it usually means right. Confirmation. You're confirming with the other person whether something is true. 근데 when it's used in declarative sentence, plain sentence, 조금 다른 의미가 있어요. It has various and different usages. 일단은 it's used for something the speaker 잠깐만요. Jamieson, maybe it's off topic, but who is the Jisoo and Jeff that always appears in the examples? Oh, they are imaginary characters. And the reason why I always stick to Jisoo is because sometimes I throw random Korean names and people go like, oh, what's that? But that is not, a proper, that is just a name of a person. So people get sometimes confused. So just to reduce the confusion and just so I don't have to explain every time that this is the person's name, I usually stick to Jisoo for woman and Jiho for a guy. That is why. 아무튼 지랑 조 봅시다. 그다음에 이건 일단 지는요, when it's used in declarative sentence, it's used for something that the speaker considers obvious or truthful in general. So it's a generally accepted common sense or something that's obvious. 그럴 때 씁니다. 일단은 키워드가요. The keyword for 지 and 조 is that it's obvious to me. me가 중요해요. I will get to it soon, but me is the key point here. Obvious to me. 그리고 something that the speaker considers obvious or truthful in general. 그리고 I have to add one more usage. It can be used. What? Oh, it says my iPhone has been connected to computer all this time. Never mind. 괜찮아요. It says my iPhone battery is like below 20%, so I'd better charge it. But I didn't know it was connected. 네. Sometimes I'm so engrossed in the class content itself that I forget about some of the technical issues. 아무튼 it can be used regardless of notice that it can, not it must, but it can. It's one of the possibilities. So it can be used regardless of whether the other person agrees with me. Agrees that this is a general fact. Like whether it's generally accepted by the public, like by people or not, it doesn't matter. It matters less. Not that it doesn't matter, but it matters less because it's about that thing, that statement being truthful to me. Truthful to me, not necessarily the speaker. 이런 뜻입니다. Not necessarily listener. It has to be truthful to the speaker, not necessarily to the listener. 그렇게 돼요. 그래서 either way, either it's the first usage or second usage, if the speaker uses 지, that means the speaker finds what they said truthful. They click with it. 그래서 예를 들어서 the simplest example would be, let's say you're a boy and your girlfriend asks you, 나 예뻐? Dreaded question, all right? One of the most dreaded questions. 나 예뻐? Am I pretty? And if you say, 예쁘지. It could mean you're accepted as pretty by the general public, but it more means it relates to me. I think you're pretty. For me, it's obvious that you're pretty. 그럼 예쁘지. 그런 이제 뉘앙스고요. 또 예를 들어서 if somebody asks you obvious question, something like 평일이 좋아, 주말이 좋아, 평일이 좋아, 주말이 좋아 이런 걸 물어봤어요. It's like saying, do you like 평일 weekday better or weekend better? And you want to say, for me definitely 주말이 좋지. 당연히 주말이 좋지. 이런 식으로. 그리고 이제 오늘은 일요일이죠. 뭐 이 영화는 재미있죠. This Joe ending is a question ending. So it has nothing to do with the declarative ending, but you guys' sentences are correct. 오늘은 일요일이죠. This means today is 일요일, right? This is a question ending, so this is different from declarative ending 지 or 조. And also this one, 이 영화는 재미있죠. 그래서 지, when you're learning 지, learning about 지, make sure to distinguish the usage from question ending and question ending to this declarative ending. 그리고 네, 그렇게 되고요. 그리고 맞다. 세 번째 거 까먹을 뻔했네. 그리고 there's also third usage, guys. Third usage. 요거는 이제 지랑 조 both 지랑 조 can be used or 지조 or 지요 used for suggesting what to do or what they should have done 이런 것들. 그러니까 예를 들어서 if you watch a lot of K-dramas, you will hear many times somebody saying 가시죠? or 앉으시죠? 요 조는요 suggesting이에요. Please take a sit. Like, take a sit. Or take a sit for 앉으시죠? 가시죠? It's like, oh, let's go. Like, shall we go? 이런 뜻도 있어요. 시죠. 그리고 뭐 예를 들어서 let's say your friend says 나 그거 너무 비싸서 안 샀어. 안 샀어. 나 그거 너무 비싸서 안 샀어. I didn't buy it because it was too expensive. 나중에 살래. I will buy it later. And then in response to that, you can say, your friend can say, oh no, you should have bought it. And you can say, 사지. 사지. So you're suggesting what he should have done. Your friend should have done. 사지. 내일이면 가격 더 오르거든. 가격 더 오르거든. It's a reason for why I suggested you to buy it. 사지. 내일이면 가격 더 오르거든. Because the price will go higher tomorrow. 내일이면 더 오르거든. 그렇게 됐습니다. 그리고 드시죠. 맞아요. 드시죠. 근데 I have to say this though. When you're using 시조인 존댓말 요거는 가시죠? 아닌가? Maybe not necessarily. Maybe not all the time. But 시조, when you're using 존댓말, it usually sounds more appropriate for someone in the higher position than you to say this. So you can only say this to lower people who are younger than you or people who are at a lower position. So for example, in the company, there's the highest person is 회장, right? 회장. And then the level below it, somewhere below it would be like 부장님. 그래서 it would be more appropriate for 회장님 to say 가시죠 to 부장님 rather than the other way around, which can sound a little rude. But maybe it's just me, and maybe that's not the case all the time. So this is just my subjective opinion. So maybe you can just ignore what I just said about this. But 시조가 조금은 sometimes, I think it would be useful to note that 시조 can sometimes sound rude when you use it to someone, that's higher than you. 그렇게 됩니다. 그래서 지 그렇게 되시고요. 그리고 이제 마지막은 아니네요. It's not the end. We're almost towards the end. 는 거야. 일단 거야를 배워볼 거예요. 거야 or 거예요 in 존댓말. 거예요. 일단은 이게 사실 설명하기가 좀 어려워요. 그러니까 this is one of the grammar points that I find hard to explain, but I try my best to make it relatively clear. 일단은 keywords는 pay attention이에요. Pay attention. 일단은 보겠습니다. 일단은 거야가 it's used in both questions and declarative sentence, normal sentence. question에도 쓰이고 일단 declarative sentence에도 쓰여요. declarative sentence meaning plain sentence, like the statement sentence. 그리고 it's direct translation. It directly translates to it's that. It's that. 입니다. 일단은 question 먼저 볼게요. question. Let's look at when it's used as a question. 일단은 question일 때는 주로 이제 softening 기능이 조금 있어요. It does soften your question and prevents it from being too direct. So for example, let's say you want to ask, why did you do that? 왜 그랬어? 왜 그랬어? This sounds rather direct. There's nothing wrong with this sentence. There's nothing wrong with asking someone 왜 그랬어? If you're really curious about it. But if you want to soften it out a little bit, you can say 왜 그런 거야? 왜 그런 거야? 왜 그런 거야? So you can combine 그렇다 with 거. I will skip explaining 거 grammar because we did this numerous times in beginner grammar, right? 일단은 그래서 왜 그런 거야? 이렇게 물어볼 수도 있고요. 그리고 뭐 예를 들어서 let's say your friend speaks fluent Korean and you want to ask him how long have you studied? You can say 뭐 한국어 you can directly ask him 한국어 얼마나 배웠어? 얼마나 배웠어? 이렇게 할 수 있고 아니면 어떻게 하면 될까요, 여러분? Could you try rephrasing this question using 거야? 한국어 얼마나 배웠어? What would be a rather softened version of this question, guys, by using 거야. Oh, for a second I thought the live froze because I'm not getting any chat from you guys. 그렇죠. 저 진짜 my heart sank for a second. I'm not lying. Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna lie. 갑자기 froze 한 줄 알았고 진짜 얼마나 놀랐는데요. 진짜 깜짝 놀랐어. 아무튼 얼마나 배운 거야? 그렇죠. 한국어 얼마나 배운 거야? 맞아요. 한국어 얼마나 배운 거야? 이렇게 물어보면 돼요. 얼마나 배운 거야? 이렇게 물어볼 수 있습니다. So that's for questions. 그리고 이제 declarative sentence로 넘어가 볼게요. declarative sentence로. 일단은 그냥 이제 declarative sentence일 때는 일단은 두 가지 effect가 있어요. 일단은 declarative sentence일 때도 sometimes it could be used to soften out your sentence. 일단은 근데 I'll tell you more primary usages of it. First one is creating dramatic effect. So it's either to make your story more intriguing or like elicit some sort of emotions from the listener. So let's say you're telling a story of what happened yesterday to your friend. You can go like, 나 어제 공원을 지나고 있었거든. This 거든 is like a conversation opener, providing background. So 잠깐만요. I'm not sure if I mentioned it here, but 거든이요. 거든 어딨어? When 거든 is used when giving a reason to what you're about to say, 이때는 사실 conversation opener라고도 볼 수 있어요. conversation opener라고도 볼 수 있고 아니면 뭐 providing background information to further elaborate on what you're going to say. I think I mentioned it, right? 네, 갑자기 기억이 안 나가지고. 아무튼 뒤로 넘어가 볼게요. 그래서 you're telling a story to your friend. 나 어제 공원을 지나고 있었거든. Your opening conversation. 근데 큰 개가 갑자기 나한테 오더니 나를 무는 거야. 무는 거야. 이렇게 present tense로 쓸 수가 있어요. Even if you're talking about past tense. So in English, also, this happens also. So when you're sharing a story, you go like, oh, the other day, like, so I'm going into the shop and this woman yells at me not to like stomp. 이런 식으로 현재로 쓰잖아요. Even if you're describing past, when you're telling a story, you use present tense, right? So same here. 여기서도 present tense 쓰시면 돼요. 나 어제 공원을 지나고 있었거든. I was moving past the park. 근데 큰 개가 갑자기 나한테 오더니 큰 개가 갑자기 ran toward me. A big dog was running toward me. And 나를 무는 거야. And bite me. 이런 식으로 좀 dramatic effect를 가미를 해줘요. It does add some dramatic effect in your story. So that you could elicit some sort of emotion, intended emotion from the listener. 그런 뜻이 있고 아니면 뭐 예를 들어서 내가 늦잠을 잤는데 지각을 했어. 내가 늦잠을 잤는데 I slept in 지각을 했어. I slept in and 지각을 했어. I was late to class. 근데 선생님이 막 너무 심하게 혼내시는 거야. 너무 막 심하게 too harshly 막 혼내는 거야. 이런 식으로. So the teacher was scolding me harshly. 혼내다 means to scold. So you're creating dramatic effect to your story. 그리고 이제 so that's one effect. That's one usage. 그리고 두 번째는 이제 emphasizing 기능이 있어요. Emphasize. What I mean by emphasizing is you end a sentence that you want the other person to particularly pay attention to with 거야. 그런 식으로 쓸 수 있어요. 예를 들어볼게요. For example, you just took a test and you think you did horribly. And you just checked your score and you got 80. You got 80 out of 100. And you can say, 나 80점 받았어. I got 80. 합격 못했어. I didn't pass. And then your friend corrects you. 친구가 이렇게 말해요. 친구가 합격 최저 점수가 So the minimal score, the lowest score for passing, the lowest passing score 70점이야. It's 70. 70 is the lowest passing score. 70점이야. And you correct her. 너 합격. You can say 너 합격했어. You passed. 너 합격했어. You passed 되는데 너 합격한 거야. By adding 너 합격한 거야. 거야 sentence ending. You want the friend wants you to pay attention to this sentence. 너 합격한 거야. It's not that you didn't pass. You did pass. 이런 식으로 좀 내가 강조하고 싶은 문장에 넣을 때 효과가 있어요. 그리고 so it either makes the sentence soft or gives a dramatic effect. 그렇죠. You could say that. 일단은 for a question, when it's used in a question, it definitely does soften it, but it doesn't always soften the sentence just by adding 거야 in many cases. So I think it would be more helpful to think of it as an emphasis or dramatic effect when it's used in a declarative sentence. 그런 식으로 쓸 수 있어요. 그리고 이거랑은 좀 달라요. 너 합격했을 거야는 달라요. 너 합격했을 거야. You use future tense. In the sentence, the future tense is used. In this case, you're just guessing. You would have passed. 근데 여기서는 by saying 너 합격한 거야, it's talking about the decided fact. Because, 근데 사실 이거 decided fact 맞잖아요? If the minimal passing score is 70 and you get 80, you pass. You don't have to see the result. You don't have to check the result, right? So you don't have to check whether you pass or not. This is something that you automatically know. 그래서 여기서는 너 합격한 거야 라고 쓰면 됩니다. 그럼 우리는 스토리로 말할 때만 는 거야 과거에도 쓸 수 있나요? 스토리로 말할 때만 는 거야. 스토리로 말할 때 과거에도 쓸 수 있어요. 네, 과거에도 쓸 수 있어요. 그럴 때는 사실 했던 거야. 이런 식으로 쓸 수 있죠. 잠깐만요. 미안해요. 이거는 은 거야는 사실 it's definitely a grammar point that deserves a lesson on its own because I also need to talk about the grammatical elements, right? like 썼던 거야, verb 은 거야, 는 거야, 약간 이런 식으로. 근데 스토리로 말할 때만 과거에 쓸 수 있는 건 아니에요. 네, you could use it in future tense, 는 거야, or past tense, 은 거야. 그리고 을 거야는 이제 future tense니까 this is not included in 은 거야 ending generally because it's future tense anyways. We could use some other ending to make more dramatic effect when we're using future tense, so this does not count. 아무튼 근데 뭐 future, present tense 쓸 수 있고 future tense도 쓸 수 있지만 when you're telling a story, even if it's a story that happened in the past, even if it's a story based on the past, you don't have to use 은 거야, the past form, and you can stick to 는 거야. 왜냐면 just like in English, that happens. You use present tense when you're telling a story. Like the other day, I'm in the store and I pick up this cool shampoo, but then this child snatches away from me. Like in this story, present tense is used, right? 그런 원리예요. 아무튼 이제 은 거야는 그렇습니다. Dramatic effect or emphasizing what you want the other person to pay attention. 그래서 이게 은 거야가 사실 it's often used 은 거야가 it's often used when you are trying to convince someone or trying to make someone understand yourself, like explain yourself. 그럴 때 써요. 그래서 emphasizing이 되죠. 그리고 일단은 드라마 클립을 보기 전에 두 개 더 남았어요. We have two more sentence endings. 일단은 은퇴요. So I'll be skipping a lot of grammatical elements. Grammatical element 말고 usage에 focus 할게요. I will be focusing more on usages because I prepared this class assuming that you guys already know 은대's grammar rules, like what rule applies to verb and adjective. I'm going to skip that, guys. 일단은 은대요는요. 일단은 여러분 그런데 usage 알죠? Do you guys know 근대's usage? 근데 or but. 근데 그런데 usage. 일단은 but이란 뜻이 있고 그리고 it can also be used for actually let's talk about 은대 itself first, guys. Sorry, I do have to include the grammar a little bit just so I could provide more smooth explanation. So 은대는요. 은대 can mean but, right? The previous sentence, but. It also means, it's also used for providing background information, right? Background information. So 예를 들어서, let's try making sentences with these two. 일단은 마실 때는 뭐 예를 들어서 뭐 저는 한국인인데 한국어를 못해요. 한국어를 몰라요. 한국어를 몰라요. 일단은 저는 한국인인데 한국어를 몰라요. This 인데 would more be but, right? Because these two are contrasting content. I am Korean, but I don't know Korean. Maybe that person is ethnically Korean, right? In this case. 그리고 but in this case, 저는 한국인인데 뭐 김치를 좋아해요. 김치를 제일 좋아해요. 좋아해요. In this context, this 인데 is not but, right? Because these two are not contrasting sentences. It's more like providing background information. Like, 저는 한국인인데, you're starting your sentence providing your background information. I'm Korean and 김치를 제일 좋아해요. I like kimchi the best. 이런 식으로. So that's what unde's usages are, either but or providing background information. 그렇기 때문에 when a sentence ends in 은대요, it has similar usage. 은대요 할 때 similar usage예요. 일단 first one relates to but. So it's responding to what is contrary to your thoughts, knowledge or belief. 이런 식으로. 예를 들어서 your friend tells you, 너 미국 사람이잖아. Hey, you're American. Hey, you're American, right? 미국 사람이잖아. 그랬더니 아닌데요. 저 한국 사람, 저 캐나다 사람인데요. Or you don't even have to say 아닌데요. You can just say 저 캐나다 사람인데요. By saying 인데요, you imply that this person, what the person said previously is contrary to what you are, contrary to the truth. So 너 미국 사람이잖아. 저 캐나다 사람인데요. 이거는 this 대요 is obviously the first usage이고, 그리고 두 번째 relates to providing background information. 그래서 not relates to, it's exactly the same. Providing background information. So basically you can think of it as dividing the one sentence that was connected with 은대. 예를 들어서 저는 한국인인데 김치를 제일 좋아해요. Let's bring this sentence. You could also say 저는 한국인인데요. 김치를 제일 좋아해요. And this sentence is basically this one sentence broken into two parts, and 인데요 is still used to provide background information. 한국인인데요. 저는 한국인인데요. 김치를 제일 좋아해요. 아니면 you could say something like 제가 요즘 한국어를 배우는데요. Providing background information so that you could continue. 제가 요즘 한국어를 배우는데요. 한국 역사에도 관심이 좀 생기더라고요. 제가 요즘 한국어를 배우는데요. 한국 역사에도 관심이 생기더라고요. Even in Korean history, 관심이 생기다. Interest arises. 더라고요. And 더라고요 is about past tense, right? What you realize or what happened in the past. And the reason why it's used here is because, do you guys remember what I said about 더라고요? Not necessarily. So when you say 더라고요, you don't really know whether that is the case for now. That still is the case for now. Sure, it happened in the past, but it might still be the case. It might still not be the case. 여기서는 나는 관심이 생긴 거. For 관심 starting, for your interest starting to appear is what happened in the past and it still continues. 라는 뜻을 가지고 있습니다. 여기서 더라고요는 더라고요. 굉장히 이게 what's most difficult about sentence endings is that it can have slightly different grammar rules depending on the context. 그래서 제가 아까는 뭐 past에만 쓸 수 있다고 했지만 이렇게 약간 현재에도 관심이 있는데 I am still interested in Korean history now, but you can still use 더라고요. Because the emotion started in the past and it still continues to this day. 그런 거를 imply 하기 때문입니다. 조금 어려운데 아무튼 이 단어에서 이 문장에서는 대요는 it's about providing background information입니다. 그리고 이제 세 번째로 가볼게요. 세 번째로 여기서 보시면 whether it's the first usage, which is speaking what's contrary, or whether it's second usage. It's the common trait, the commonality, the common denominator that the two usages have is that the sentence hasn't ended. There's more to it, right? So 은대 usually implies that there's something more. So it is used when you have more to say. It could be used when you have more to say, or to imply that this sentence, or what I said, is not the end of the conversation. And I'm expecting the other person's response or action. 이럴 때도 쓰여요. So let me give you an example, guys. So let me read it again. It's used when you have more to say or to imply that what you said is not the end of the combo and you're expecting some sort of response or action from the other person. 예를 들어서, let's say you left your bag on the table at a coffee shop and you come back to your seat with your drink and then you see a stranger trying to pick up your bag. In that case, you can approach him and say, you can say 그거 제 거예요. You can say 그거 제 거예요. 맞아요. 이것도 맞는데, you can also say, 그거 제 건데요. 그거 제 건데요. 그거 제 건데요. And by saying this, you're kind of expecting the other person to drop your bag, to put it back on the table. 그럴 때 쓰입니다. 그거 제 건데요. 그거 제 건데요. 그리고 예를 들어서, let's say out of the blue, your friend says, or your coworker says, 오늘 날씨 좋은데요? 오늘 날씨 좋은데요? 잠깐만요. 그거 제 가방인데요도 되죠. 그렇죠. That's my bag. 그거 제 가방인데요. or 그거 제 건데요, which means that is mine, 제 거, my thing, my stuff. 좋아요. 다음에 let's say your coworker start your sentence like this. 오늘 날씨 좋은데요? 오늘 날씨 좋은데요? And then doesn't continue. It's implying that you're expecting that person, your coworker, is expecting some sort of response from you. They're expecting you to reply by saying either 네 그러네요. Yeah, you're right. It's good. 아니면은 you could disagree, right? 아닌데요. 아닌데요 할 수도 있겠죠. 아닌데요. 아닌데요. And in this case, 아닌데요, it would be first usage, which is saying what's contrary to what you hear, right? 그래서 오늘 날씨 좋은데요. In response, you could say, 아닌데요, it's not good. 이럴 수 있죠. 그래서 this 데요 and this 데요 has different usage. This one is contrary usage. This one is more like expecting usage, right? You expect there is more in the conversation. All right. 그 다음에 이제 finally we're moving on to our final sentence ending. 와, 여러분 이제 드디어 끝으로 왔네요. I didn't expect this class to go this long. 솔직히 말하면 너무 짧을까 봐 걱정했어요. To be honest, guys, I was worried this class would be too short for a live class, but it ended up the opposite. 네, 이걸 기대한 게 아닌데요. 그쵸? 2시간이나 하는 걸 기대하지 않았는데요. I used 태요 because it's contrary to what I expected. 그리고 Jamie. 브라질 사람인데 축구를 좋아하지 않아요? Yes. 그렇죠. 그럴 때는 you're in there would mean but. 그렇죠. 아무튼 이제 verb-아 볼게요. 라는요. 항상 반말입니다. 항상 always 반말이에요. always 반말. 그리고 이거는 키워드가 뭐냐면 keyword. 잠깐만. I forgot the keyword for 은퇴요. 은퇴요는 이거 키워드는 as you guys can guess, it's expecting more. Expecting more. There's more to a sentence, there's more in a sentence, or there's more in interaction or conversation. 그게 키워드고 다음에 이제 verb-아어라 키워드는 이건 아주 쉬워요, 여러분. 사실 요거는 command입니다. command. 그러니까 이게 사실 you can add the sentence in just plain ending, just conjugation, right? Conjugation ending, and it will still be imperative sentence, right? But to make your imperative sentence more assertive and more straightforward, you can add la. 그래서 이거는요, 사실 adding la is not like a polite or soft request. So it's best not to use it for someone. Well, this is 반말 anyway, so you wouldn't really be using it with someone that you're speaking 존댓말 to. But you know, you could still be using 반말 together and not be very close, right? That could happen. 그래서 그럴 때는 안 쓰는 걸 추천해요. I recommend not using it in those cases. So don't use it unless you're trying to make your imperative sentence more assertive and straightforward. 아셨죠? 그래서 예를 들어서 let's say your classmates are being really loud in the class and you're studying and the rest of the people are studying, rest of the students are studying. You can say, 조용히 좀 해. 조용히 좀 해. Be quiet. 이렇게 할 수도 있는데 조용히 좀 해라. 조용히 좀 해라. 조용히 좀 해라도 괜찮아요. 조용히 좀 해라 definitely sounds more assertive and straightforward. 근데요, 이게 또 웃긴 게 languages can be really flexible, right? 그래서 sometimes if you're really close, it really depends on your intimacy with the other person. But if you're really close, this la can sometimes sound more playful than just saying using normal imperative sentence. So just like any languages, it's really flexible and it really depends on the context and the relationship between people. But I guess as learners, you guys can remember that la can be more straightforward. 맞아요. 저리 가라. 맞아요. You can say this to your pet. Like if your pet is annoying you for a long time, you can say, 저리 좀 가라. 저리 좀 가라. 물론, of course, you could say 저리 좀 가. 근데 이제 저리 좀 가라 하면은 sometimes it could sound more playful, but usually it's more assertive. Kind of like do it now. 네. 그러네요. 맞아요. I never thought of it this way. But 항상 그렇진 않아요. 물론 항상 막 do it now. It doesn't always add that nuance, but many times I think it does. 네. 근데 항상 막 do it now 이런 건 아니에요. 항상 이런 건 아니에요. 예를 들어서 let's say you saw your friend ignoring her neighbors. 친구가 이웃들을 막 무시하는 거예요. Like looking away from them, and you can advise them. Like I can advise them. Like, 이웃을 보면 if you come across your neighbor, 인사 좀 해라. Greet them. Say hi. 인사 좀 해라. 네, 인사 좀 해라. 이렇게 할 수 있어요. So here it doesn't mean do it now, but just do it in general under this condition. 이웃을 보면. 그리고 맞아요. 웃어라. 맞아요. 웃어라. 그리고 사실 la can also be used in written form as an imperative sentence. In that case, that doesn't sound assertive. 그래서 그거는 written form은 조금 달라요. written form은 조금 다르지만 this class is focused on speaking. Sentence endings for speaking. 그래서 you guys can just understand the spoken usage. 와, 이제 거의 다 끝났고요. 마지막으로 last before I finish the class, let's watch the drama clip that has 든, 거든 하고 지, 거야, 는데, 라 이거 있는 거 한번 볼게요. 잠깐만요. 이거 아니고 잠깐만. 아이고 제가 I think this tends to happen like 1 or 2 hours into class. 잠깐만요. I think I'm having a sort of a zoning out phase. 그래서 조금 느린데 기다려주세요. Please be patient with me. Oh, no. I did that again. Every time. Every single time. It has to be here. Okay, there you go. Okay. 일단 아까 이거 봤죠? 거기 사람이 너무 많아요. 뭐 반찬이 많이 나오거든요. 이거 봤고 그다음에
무릎 골절 같은 증상이
그 무릎 골절 같은 증상이 흔하거든. If you get into a car accident, it's common to have symptoms like knee fracture. And I say this because I'm about to say the next sentence. That's what it means. That's what 거든 means in this sentence. 거든. It's like a conversation opener. Or what? Or explaining reason for why you're saying the next thing you're about to say, which is.
근데 병원에서는 무릎을 다쳤다는 얘기는 못 들은 것 같아서.
그런데 병원에서는 무릎을 다쳤다는 걸 못 들은 것 같아서 I say this because I never heard your doctor saying you got a knee fracture, you hurt your knee. So basically he's raising doubt on whether she actually got into an accident or she was somebody physically attacked her. So you guys have to watch the drama to understand the full context, but that's just context for this specific scene. 같아서 그리고
진짜 이상.
그리고 이 사람이 이렇게 말해요. 진짜 이상하다.
머리를 맞은 기억도 전혀 없거든요.
머리를 맞은 기억도 전혀 없거든요. 이상하다. Your immediate reaction, right? Oh, that's weird. 머리를 맞은 기억도 전혀 없거든요. Because I don't have any memory of getting hit by the head. 머리를 맞은 기억 전혀 없거든요. Funny grammar. 여기 있다. So this is the third usage of 거든. Grandma says 이렇게 술 처먹었단 거야. So it's a very vulgar word she's using, but she's basically saying this guy is drunk, basically. This guy had liquor, so he's drunk. And then he strongly opposes to it. 나 술 안 먹었거든. He's strongly opposing to it. So this is 거든's third usage, strongly objecting to somebody's statement.
한국에 있다 보면 고쳐지겠지.
여기서 이제 지를 썼어요. 지. 한국에 있다 보면 고쳐지겠지. If I stay in Korea long enough, then it'll eventually fall into place. 고쳐지겠지. So by using get ending, get future tense, she's predicting, like she's guessing, like that must be, like this will fall into place. And she ends the sentence using 지 because that's what she believes to be truthful. So 지, when it's used in declarative sentence, the key word was truthful to me, right? Obvious to me. What I accept as truth, right? 그렇기 때문에 고쳐지겠지 이렇게 말을 했고
이래서 조기교육이
이 사람도
중요한 거지.
이 사람은 this man uses the double sentence ending that we use, both sentence ending that we learn in this class. So 이래서 조기 교육이 중요한 거지. 이래서 that is why early education as in like premature education, like education you get when you're younger. 조기 교육이 중요한 거지. So you're trying to emphasize your sentence and at the same time you're indicating that this is what you believe and what is truthful to you. So 거야 and 지 ending is combined. 거지. 이렇게 됐고 그리고
나도 반말한다.
대신 나도 반말한다. Hey, in return, instead, let's make it fair. And 나도 반말한다. I'm gonna use 반말 in formal speech too. 그러면 여기서 여러분 요 한다는 what would be the usage of this 한다? Would it be future or immediate reaction? It's a good review, guys. I really like it. I really like how I edited it. All the footages that I spent a lot of time selecting. 좋네요. 아무튼 good review. 한다의 그 usage는 뭘까요? 그렇죠. 할게. 맞아요. 할 거야 or 할게. 대신 나도 반말할게. 그리고 프리실리아님 재밌고 유익해요. 유익하네요. Perfect way to review. You use 네요, one of the endings we learned today, and thank you so much. It means so much to hear that, especially by the end of the class when I'm starting to get exhausted. 감사합니다. I feel so great. Thank you so much. Anyways, moving on.
이미 한 걸로 아는데.
여기서 나도 반말한다. In response to that, she said, 이미 한 걸로 아는데. So literally, it means I know it as you already did. Like you already used 반말. So I know you already used it. 아는데. 이미 한 걸로 아는데. So she is saying 는데 for two reasons. First of all, it's contrary to what the man said, right? The man said he's gonna use 반말 from now on, but contrary to what he said, he actually was using 반말 all along. And second one, she's also using 는데 because she's expecting some sort of response from the man. So she expects him to say something. 이미 한 걸로 아는데.
그렇지.
And he thinks about it and then say, 그렇지. 빠른 인정. He admits it quickly. 그렇지. Again, he uses T because it's true. It's true. 그렇지. 이거 에티켓이 아니죠. 이렇게 주차장에서 이렇게 떠드는 거 이거 에티켓이 아니죠. This time she used G's 존댓말 form, 조, right? So 이거 에티켓이 아니죠. This is not an etiquette. Etiquette as in courtesy. This is not proper courtesy to the residents in this building for us to argue over this in the parking lot. That's the context. So 이거 에티켓이 아니죠. She thinks it's obvious. It's not proper courtesy to be like this. 이거 에티켓이 아니죠. 갑시다 서로. 나 거기 당당하게 이용 좀 하자고. So she's basically saying she's gonna use the welfare provided by the country to the most. She's gonna make most of it because 나 세금 겁나 많이 내거든. And this is the part where she explains the reason for why she said that. Why she said she's gonna make the most of the welfare. It's because 거든 나 세금 겁나 많이 내거든. 겁나는 it's not a swear word, but it's more like a slangish way of saying very. 겁나. 그리고 세금 means tax. 그래서 세금 내다 means to pay taxes. So in this drama, this grandma is super rich. 그래서 that's why she's saying, I pay a lot of taxes. 세금 겁나 많이 내거든. That's why I said I'm gonna make the most of the welfare. That's what it means.
이렇게 한강 다 보이는 집 구하기 쉽지 않은데 주우신 거예요.
여기도 보실게요.
이렇게
한강 다 보이는 집 구하기 쉽지 않은데 이렇게 한강이 다 보이는 집 구하기 쉽지 않은데 it's not easy to find a house that has full Han River view. 쉽지 않은데 the conversation opener or providing background, or it could be conversation opener too, right? 근데 because it's providing background information and it's also implying that you have more to say, right? So, it's not easy to get a house like this. 아는데
쉽지 않은데 주우신 거예요.
운 좋으신 거예요. 운이 좋다. 운 means luck. 운 좋다 means you have good luck. So you're lucky. 운 좋으신 거예요. So she could have said 운 좋으세요. 운 좋으세요도 괜찮지만 by adding 은 거예요 sentence ending, you're implying that you want the listener to pay attention to what I said here. 운 좋으신 거예요. Oh, you're lucky. You're lucky. You know, you're emphasizing it. It's hard to get a house like that. Oh, you're so lucky. 운 좋으신 거예요.
난 이미 일어났습니다.
그리고 다음 볼게요. 난 이미 the man says 난 이미 sorry.
난 이미 일어났습니다.
The man said 난 이미 일어났습니다. I woke up already. 나 이미 일어났습니다. I got up already. And then he says
일찍 일어나는 새가 먹이를 먹는 법이죠.
일찍 일어나는 새가 먹이를 먹는 법이죠. 일찍 일어나는 새가 먹이를 먹는 법이죠. 이게 무슨 뜻이냐면요. 일찍 일어나다 means a bird. 일찍 일어나는 새 means a bird that wakes up early, right? 그리고 먹이를 먹는다 means to eat food. So birds' food are usually worms, right? So it's a proverb for the early bird catches the worm. Early bird catches the worm. And he's using 2조 because for him, this is an obvious fact. This is common sense for him. 일찍 일어나는 새가 먹이를 먹는 법이죠. 그리고 반말? 반말은 informal, casual, 존댓말은 formal입니다. Formal, polite. That's the difference between 반말 and 존댓말. 그 다음에 let's move on to
여기 골든 임페리얼 주차장인데 차 좀 빼주셔야겠는데?
아이씨 자는데.
여기 보시면 는데 appears 3 times in a row. 볼게요. Twice in the grammar sentence.
임페리얼 주차장
여기 골든 임페리얼 주차장인데 so she's providing background information, right? 여기 골든 임페리얼 주차장인데 I'm at a parking lot in Golden Imperial building and 차 좀 빼주셔야겠는데? It's like saying it seems like you have to 차 빼주다 영어로 뭐지? 차 빼주다 영어로 뭐죠, 여러분? 차를 빼주다. 그러니까 약간 basically you're blocking someone's basically you park your car in front of someone so that person cannot go out. And so usually in that case we call the owner of the car that's blocking my car and we say, please verb the car. What do you guys say in this context? Any English native speakers here? Please help me out. 차 빼주다. 영어로 못 찾겠어요, 여러분. 도와주세요. 차 빼주다. Please, it's not take out the car. It's more like, please move your car, right? Please move your car. 맞겠죠? Please move your car. Move your car makes sense 한 것 같아요. 맞죠? 아무튼 차 좀 빼주셔야겠는데요. 그러니까 차를 빼다 literally means to take out your car. So it means to move your car. 그래서 차 좀 빼주셔야겠는데 you would need to move your car. And she ended her sentence with 는데, or she could have said 는데요 to be politer. But anyways, this person is not a polite character, nor does she have to be in this drama. Anyways, she used 는데 because she's expecting some sort of response from the person over the phone, right? Whether that be, okay, I'll come down immediately, or wait a second, please, right? So she's expecting some sort of reaction, response from the other person. And then, and then 남자's response is totally unexpected. 자는데, he's like being annoyed. 자는데, but I'm sleeping. 자는데. 그래서 you can see that this 인데, and this 인데, each of them has different usage. 그리고 자는데.
저 혼자 챙겨 먹고 가도 되는데.
여기도 보시면 할머니가 the grandma is making breakfast for her grandson. And so the grandson says, 저 혼자 챙겨 먹고 가도 되는데요? 저 혼자 챙겨 먹고 가도 되는데요. Basically, I could have made it by myself. And he used 는데요 because, the situation is contrary to what he expected, right? So, 저 혼자 챙겨 먹고 가도 되는데요. So it's like saying he is saying sorry and thank you at the same time. The Korean language can be quite direct like this. 네, we tend to be quite direct in our speech. 네, 아무튼 되는데요. 그리고 할머니 좀 더 주무시죠. 여기서 or 조. What would be this 조's usage, guys? 여기서의 조의 usage는 뭘까요? Would it be something that you consider obvious? Or something, or you're suggesting something to the other person, like suggesting you should have done this instead. What would be the usage of 조 here? 뭘까요? suggesting이죠. 그렇죠. 맞아요. suggesting입니다. 할머니 좀 더 주무시죠. You should get more sleep. 좀 더 주무시죠. 주무시다 is 자다's not imperative, honorific form. 할머니 좀 더 주무시죠. You should have slept more. 그리고 끝인가?
오늘 학원 가는 날 아니잖아.
여기 또 이제 자나랑 대 핑퐁이 오고 가요. 되는데 핑퐁 conversation인데 일단 처음에
학원 가는 날 아니잖아.
너 오늘 학원 가는 날 아니잖아. Hey, it's not. So 학원 is it's kind of like a cram school, like the private school that you go after public school. So 학원 가는 날 아니잖아. Today is not the day where you have 학원 schedule. 아니잖아, right? Isn't it? You and I both know that. 아니잖아.
맞는데?
And then he says, 맞는데? Contrary to what you said, it is true. I have 학원 schedule. 맞는데? And then the other guy says, 아닌데? 맞아. 아니야. 이러면서 이렇게 핑퐁. 아닌데? 맞는데? 이렇게 핑퐁, 는데 핑퐁이 can go on and on. So I thought it was cute. So that's why I brought it. And that's it, guys. Wow. 여러분, 끝났습니다. 여러분, you should take time to thank yourself for following this class, especially those of you who are here from the very beginning and stay till the very end. 와, 너무 기분이 좋네요, 여러분. 그리고 as for the class notes, guys, I will see if I could upload the summary of the explanations that I provided in today's lesson and maybe upload a review note on my website. 그렇게 해볼게요, 여러분. I hope that you guys were, taking notes while you're following this class. That would have been more helpful. But I'll try to upload the review note as well. 네. 아무튼 여러분 이제 끝입니다. 오늘 고생 많으셨습니다, 선생님. 탈리아 씨도 고생 너무 많으셨어요. 태민님 너무 고맙습니다. 와우. $50. I think this is probably the biggest amount I got on YouTube 그 super chat. Wow, thank you so much. 진짜 감사합니다. Thank you for the live class today. Congrats. Thank you so much. Congrats on the new house. Wait, why did it disappear? 그리고 I wish I could send you a housewarming housewarming gift. Wow. That's so thoughtful of you. Thank you so much. Thank you. 너무너무 고맙습니다, 태미님. 그리고 also, even more so because you joined this class and you stayed till the end. I remember seeing your username in the beginning of this class and you're still here. It means you made it all the way through. So thank you so much. Thank you. 수고하셨습니다. 선생님 덕분에 많은 걸 배우게 됐어요. 많이 감사합니다. 장미님의 그 sentence construction skill 너무너무 좋아요. 네, 진짜 좋아요. 이렇게 세부적인 문법도 다 맞고 너무 잘하고 있어요, 장미님. 그리고 thank you so much, 장미님, also for providing lots of good sentences for other students to check as well, the example sentences. 그리고 수고하셨습니다. 감사합니다. Thank you. Enjoyed the class. 너무 고마워요. 감사합니다. 사랑합니다. 고마워요. 비키쌤 고마워요. 오케이, 여러분 감사합니다. 너무 감사합니다. 진짜 고맙습니다. 아무튼 여러분, 일단은 I will end the class here. Like I told you guys, I will work on the review note, brief review note. And yes, I'll see you guys in the next video or in the next live class. 여러분 너무 감사합니다. 그러면 I'll make sure to finish. I'll press the finish button now. My tongues are twisted. 수고했다. 하트. 오케이. 그러면 여러분, thank you, Miss Vicky. Thank you, Ellen님. Bye for now, guys. 안녕. Finish 버튼 누를게요.